You will not believe these 30 places actually exist on Earth. You will not believe these 30 places actually exist on Earth. I'm talking about places that look like they were ripped straight out of a sci-fi movie or an insane video game, but you can actually go visit them. We're going to take you on a whirlwind tour of the most surreal, most unbelievable, and most mind-blowing locations our planet has to offer. From a fiery crater that has been burning for 50 years straight to an island covered in alien-looking trees, every single place on this list will make you question what you think is real. So buckle up, because we are about to see things that look more like a Hollywood special effect than actual reality. We scoured the entire globe looking for the absolute craziest, most visually stunning locations, and what we found is honestly unbelievable. I'm going to show you a lake that's bright pink, mountains that look like they were painted by a giant, and a cave filled with what looks like millions of stars. This isn't just a list, it's a challenge to your perception. I challenge you to watch this entire video and not have your mind completely blown by at least one of these places. I'm betting you won't even make it past the first 5 without wanting to book a plane ticket immediately. Get ready to update your bucket list. This is going to be the most insane virtual world tour you have ever been on. We're talking about a waterfall made of what looks like blood in the middle of Antarctica, a giant blue hole in the ocean you can see from space, and an entire hotel built completely out of ice every single year. These aren't just pretty landscapes, they are geological mysteries and natural wonders that scientists are still trying to fully understand. And I promise you, if you stay until the very end of this video, the last place we show you is so unbelievably strange, it will make everything else look normal. Let's not waste any more time. We are starting this incredible journey right now, with a place literally nicknamed the Door to Hell. Let's go. All right. Kicking things off at number 1, we are heading to the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan to witness something straight out of a nightmare. This is the Darvaza gas crater, but everyone calls it the Door to Hell. And honestly, look at it. It's a giant fiery pit in the middle of nowhere that has been burning non-stop for over 50 years. This isn't a volcano or some natural phenomenon in the traditional sense. This massive, blazing inferno was actually created by accident. It's a man-made disaster that turned into one of the most surreal and terrifying tourist attractions on the entire planet. Can you imagine stumbling upon this in the middle of the desert? Back in 1971, a group of geologists were drilling for natural gas. They hit a massive underground cavern filled with gas, and the ground beneath their entire drilling rig just collapsed, creating this huge crater. The crater started leaking enormous amounts of poisonous methane gas, a huge problem for the local environment and nearby towns. So the scientists came up with what they thought was a brilliant, simple plan. They would just light it on fire. They figured the gas would burn off in a few weeks, then a few months, then a few years. Well, they were wrong. Incredibly wrong. Those few weeks turned into a few months, then a few years, and now it has been over half a century. The fire is still burning today with the same intensity, fueled by the colossal natural gas reserves that lie beneath the desert floor. Nobody knows for sure just how much gas is down there, which means nobody knows if this fire will burn for another 50 years or even longer. It's a 230-foot wide crater of perpetual flame, a testament to a massive miscalculation. It's a literal man-made hellscape that roars day and night. So, can you actually visit this insane place? Yes, you can, but it's not exactly a walk in the park. You need to travel deep into the Turkmenistan desert, usually with a guide. The heat is incredibly intense, especially at the crater's edge. But the view, especially at night, is something you will never forget. The glowing abyss under a sky full of stars is a truly once-in-a-lifetime sight. Just be careful, there are no safety railings. You can literally walk right up to the edge and stare into the abyss. It's the ultimate destination for thrill seekers and one of the most unbelievable sights on Earth. Next up, we are traveling to a place so isolated and bizarre that it's often called the most alien-looking place on Earth. Welcome to Socotra Island, part of Yemen, located in the Arabian Sea. This place is not just a little bit weird, it's on a completely different level of strangeness. The island looks like a science fiction movie set that was abandoned by an alien civilization. Over a third of the plant life here is found nowhere else on the entire planet. This extreme isolation has allowed nature to evolve in some truly spectacular and unique ways. The most famous resident of this island is this absolute freak of nature, the dragon's blood tree. Look at this thing. It has a bizarre, umbrella-shaped canopy, like a giant inside-out mushroom or a network of veins. Its purpose is to provide shade and capture moisture from the highland mists, allowing it to survive in the arid conditions. But the craziest part is in its name. If you cut the bark, the tree oozes a thick, dark red resin that looks exactly like blood. For centuries, this dragon's blood was sought after as a dye and a medicine, and was believed to have magical properties. The entire island is a biological wonderland of endemic species. You'll find the bizarre cucumber tree, unique species of birds, insects, and reptiles that have evolved in complete isolation for millions of years. Walking through Socotra is like stepping into a prehistoric world or another dimension. The beaches are pristine and empty. The mountains are rugged and dramatic. The flora looks like it was designed by Dr. Seuss on an acid trip. Visiting Socotra is a serious undertaking due to its remote location and the political situation in Yemen. But for the adventurers who make it, the reward is unparalleled. You can explore the strange forests, swim in crystal-clear waters, and camp under the stars surrounded by plants and animals that exist nowhere else. It's a fragile, precious ecosystem that feels like a secret the Earth has been keeping. Socotra isn't just a place you see, it's a place you experience, and it will leave you wondering if you ever truly left Earth at all. Alright, so for our next insane location, we're heading to Venezuela, where it looks like Thor is having a party that literally never ends. This is the Catatumbo lightning. This is not a regular thunderstorm. It happens almost every single night, and for up to 10 hours straight. Imagine trying to sleep through that. You'd have a constant rave right outside your window. Scientists say it flashes up to 28 times a minute. It's a natural light show so consistent it's nicknamed the Everlasting Storm. It's so bright it can be seen from hundreds of miles away. Sailors used to call it the lighthouse of Catatumbo. It's the perfect storm of geography and weather. The lightning happens where the Catatumbo River flows into Lake Maracaibo. The Andes surround the lake on 3 sides. Warm, moist air blows in from the Caribbean. Cooler air comes down from the mountains. Those air masses collide and form massive thunderclouds. Add methane gas rising from the marshes below. The result? An electrical explosion that repeats over 260 nights a year. It's like nature built its own lightning generator. Want to see it in person? Be prepared. First, travel to a specific region in Venezuela. Then, usually take a boat out onto the lake with a local guide. Best time, wet season, April to November. You'd stay in a stilt house called a palafito on the water. Imagine sitting on a porch in the middle of a lake, watching the sky split open with hundreds of thousands of lightning bolts. But visiting is a real challenge. This isn't a casual tourist spot with gift shops. You need experienced guides and strict safety planning. The journey can be long and difficult. But the payoff is witnessing something almost nobody sees. A bucket list item for storm chasers and hardcore adventurers. This isn't just watching a storm, it's being inside a living, breathing weather phenomenon that has raged for centuries. A true natural wonder of the world. Okay, so we've seen a gate to hell and a never-ending lightning storm. Now we're going deep underground in New Zealand to a place that looks like a galaxy of stars has been trapped inside a cave. These are the Waitomo glowworm caves. I promise you, this is one of the most magical and surreal things you will ever see. You get into a small boat and a guide pulls you silently through a pitch-black cave river. At first, you see nothing, complete and utter darkness. But then, as your eyes adjust, you look up, and the entire ceiling is covered in thousands and thousands of tiny, brilliant blue-green lights. It's not CGI. It's not an art installation. It's a living ceiling of glowworms. It feels like you're drifting through outer space, surrounded by a silent, shimmering universe. So what are these things? Worms, stars, alien babies? The answer is kind of crazy, a little gross, but awesome. The glowworms are not actually worms. They're the larvae of a fungus gnat called Arachnocampa luminosa, basically maggots. These little guys produce their own light through bioluminescence. They don't glow just to look pretty. They're master hunters. They create long, sticky silk threads that hang down like fishing lines, lure insects with their glowing tails, and turn them into dinner. The experience is unforgettable, and you must do it in complete silence to appreciate it. Guides don't use motors. They pull the boat along ropes so there's no noise to disturb the glowworms. Any loud sound or bright light can make them stop glowing. The Waitomo Caves are a very popular tourist spot on New Zealand's North Island, and it's easy to visit. There are different tour options, classic silent boat ride or for the adventurous blackwater rafting. Float on an inner tube with a galaxy of glowworms above you. No matter how you see them, it feels pulled from a fantasy movie. A reminder that some of the world's most beautiful things are hidden in the darkest places. 10 out of 10. Must see. For our next spot, we're flying to Turkey to a place that looks like a frozen waterfall made of clouds. This is Pamukkale, which literally means cotton castle in Turkish, and once you see it, you'll understand why. It's a massive, brilliant white hillside covered in terraced pools filled with turquoise thermal water. From a distance, it looks like the whole mountain is covered in snow or cotton, but it's actually a rock formation called travertine. Hot, mineral-rich water flows down the hillside. As the water cools, it deposits calcium carbonate, slowly building up over thousands of years into these otherworldly terraces. A natural infinity pool complex by Mother Nature. People have been bathing in these thermal pools for thousands of years. The ancient Greco-Roman city of Hierapolis sits at the hilltop, built to use these hot springs believed to have healing properties. The antique pool lets you swim among fallen Roman columns and ancient marble artifacts. There are rules to protect the terraces. You must walk completely barefoot to avoid damaging the white rock. It can be slippery and rough in places, but it's a small price to pay. The contrast, brilliant white rock, bright blue water, and the green valley below. Go at sunrise or sunset when the landscape turns gold and pink. One of the most photogenic places on Earth. Pro tip, it gets crowded midday. Stay in the village below and be at the gate for opening to have the cotton castle almost to yourself. Find your own private pool, kick back, and take in the unbelievable view. This isn't just a rock formation. It's a living, magical landscape. All right, next up, we're heading to the USA for a place that looks like it was literally sculpted by aliens. This is Antelope Canyon, and I'm telling you, it's one of the most insane places on the entire planet. It's a slot canyon, super narrow and deep, carved by flash floods over millions of years. Imagine water and sand blasting through rock with so much force, it creates these smooth, flowing shapes. It's divided into Upper Antelope, the crack, and lower, the corkscrew. What makes this place truly surreal are the light beams. For a few hours each day, during the right time of year, the sun is perfectly positioned to shoot beams of light straight down into the canyon, illuminating dust and creating solid-looking shafts of pure light. The way the light bounces off the swirling orange and purple sandstone creates a glow that makes you feel like you're inside a giant glowing gemstone. You must book a guided tour on Navajo Nation land. For the best beams in the Upper Canyon, go between late March and early October around midday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Guides even toss sand to make beams pop. It's crowded, so be patient and quick. Use a wide-angle lens, don't be afraid to bump ISO, and protect your gear. The fine sand gets everywhere. Even a phone will capture images your friends will swear are fake. It's just that unbelievably beautiful. A true natural wonder that you have to see to believe. Okay, forget everything you think you know about mirrors. We're going to a place that is the world's largest mirror. This is Salar de Uyuni in Bolivia, and it is absolutely going to blow your mind. This isn't a lake, it's the world's largest salt flat, spanning over 4,000 square miles, bigger than some countries. For most of the year, it's a blinding white desert of salt hexagons stretching to the horizon. During rainy season, a thin layer of water turns it into a perfectly reflective surface. The sky is above you and below you. You feel like you're walking on clouds, floating in endless blue. At night, the entire Milky Way reflects under your feet. There is no horizon, just an infinite void of stars. It's a massive natural photo studio, standing on giant bottles running from toy dinosaurs. The possibilities are endless, and guides are pros at helping you nail the shots. Visit December to April for the mirror. It's remote, high, over 12,000 FT, and the sun is savage. Sunscreen and sunglasses are not optional. Most explore on multi-day 4x4 tours. The rainy season hero shot, a vehicle perfectly reflected, floating among the clouds, looks like another dimension. Get ready for a real-life fantasy world. This is Mount Roraima, a massive tabletop mountain, a tepui, on the border of Venezuela, Brazil, and Guyana. It's over 9,000 feet tall, with sheer 1,300-foot vertical cliffs on all sides, a giant floating island in the sky. It inspired Paradise Falls in the movie Up. Isolated for millions of years, its summit hosts a unique ecosystem, like a lost world time forgot. Getting to the top is a grueling multi-day trek. Rivers, jungles, steep rocky paths, with a single non-technical ramp on the Venezuelan side. On top, black, weathered rock sculpted into mushrooms and monsters, crystal valleys of quartz, pools like jacuzzis, and gardens of carnivorous plants. Around 70% of summit species are endemic. You can find tiny pebble toads that crawl and roll, pitcher plants that trap insects, and delicate flowers sprouting from bare rock. Constant rain weaves streams, waterfalls, and misty swamps across the summit. Treks spend nights in natural rock overhangs called hotels to shelter from wind and rain. Stand where 3 countries meet and peer through the window on the edge for clouds and jungle far below, terrifying and beautiful. It's physically and mentally demanding, but standing on this lost world changes you. All right, for our next location, we are heading all the way to Chile to see something so insane it looks like it was generated by an AI art program. Marble caves, or capillas de marmol. You're in a boat, gliding across an unbelievably turquoise lake. Then you see it, a labyrinth of swirling, sculpted caverns and tunnels you can sail right into. For over 6,000 years, waves carved and polished the marble, creating caves, tunnels, and pillars. Marble patterns swirl with shades of blue, grey, and white, changing with light and water. Explore by boat or kayak with local guides, from narrow passages into cathedral-like caverns where sunlight refracts into an ethereal blue glow. In spring, glacial melt makes the water milky turquoise and the caves glow brighter. As levels drop, different formations emerge. Every visit is a unique snapshot in time. Sail into a fantasy, one of the most surreal and beautiful places on Earth. Okay, let's jump from the blue caves of Chile to something that looks like it belongs on another planet entirely. We're going to Canada to check out a place called Spotted Lake. For most of the year it looks normal, but in summer the water evaporates, leaving massive circular pools of concentrated minerals, yellow, green, blue spots in a giant alien polka dot pattern. This lake has one of the highest mineral concentrations on Earth: magnesium sulfate, calcium, sodium sulfates, plus traces like silver and titanium. As water evaporates, minerals crystallize, forming hard-rimmed walkways and differing colors per pool. It's also a sacred site for the Syilx people of the Okanagan Nation, called Kiluk, with a long history of therapeutic use. The lake is protected. You can't walk down into it. But a roadside viewpoint offers an amazing look. The colors peak on hot, dry days from June to September. A quick detour that'll have you Googling, "Is this place real?" Get ready. This next location is one of the most hardcore and dangerous-looking places on our list. We're heading to Tanzania, Lake Natron, the petrifying lake. The water is deep, blood-red, the shoreline crusted white. It looks post-apocalyptic. There are stories and photos of birds and bats that have died, washed ashore and become mineral-encrusted, eerie, stone-like statues. The lake is highly alkaline with pH up to 10.5, almost like ammonia, and water temperatures can reach 60 to 140 degrees. Its caustic chemistry and heat can preserve remains. Yet this deadly environment is perfect for cyanobacteria, which give the lake red-orange hues and feed millions of lesser flamingos that breed here, protected from predators. A jaw-dropping paradox of life and death. Millions of pink flamingos against blood-red water is one of the world's most surreal wildlife scenes. We're flying to the Philippines to see thousands of perfect hills stretching to the horizon. The chocolate hills of Bohol. In dry season, green turns brown, and they look like giant chocolate drops scattered across the land. Geologists see weathered marine limestone uplifted from ancient seas, sculpted by erosion into cones. Legends tell of giant tears or a giant rock fight. Either way, mind-blowing. Best views, Chocolate Hills Complex in Carmen and Sagbayan Peak. A small fee, a quick climb, and you get a 360-degree panorama that breaks your brain. It just doesn't look real. We are going to the coldest, driest, most remote continent on Earth, Antarctica. Hidden in the McMurdo Dry Valleys, there's a glacier that looks like it's bleeding. It's called Blood Falls. A 5-story blood-red waterfall pours out of the Taylor Glacier onto Lake Bonny. One of the most shocking natural phenomena you'll ever see. The color comes from a super salty lake trapped under the glacier for millions of years. Sealed from light and oxygen, the water became rich in iron. When it seeps out and hits the air, the iron oxidizes, rusting the water deep red. Even more wild, the subglacial brine teems with microbes, hinting how life survived Snowball Earth and how it might exist on Mars or Europa. It's one of the most inaccessible places on Earth, reachable mainly by scientists. We experience it through photos and films, a portal to another world. We're at the Arizona-Utah border, at the Wave. Sandstone waves frozen mid-flow, like a Dali painting come to life. Born from 190-million-year-old dunes turned to rock, then carved by wind and rain. Iron oxides and minerals laid down a geological rainbow. It's one of the most protected landscapes. Just 64 permits per day via lottery, 48 online months ahead, 16 in person. Odds can be under 5%. It's a 6-mile trackless desert hike with no shade. Bring GPS, tons of water, sun protection. Best photos are midday when shadows clear the center. If you win the permit, the experience is unforgettable. A surreal masterpiece you have to earn. All right, we're in Yellowstone, and I'm about to show you something that looks photoshopped by aliens, the Grand Prismatic Spring. It's the largest hot spring in the US, third largest in the world, bigger than a football field. Trillions of thermophiles thrive at different temperatures, painting rings from deep blue center, too hot, to green, yellow, orange, red. The rainbow shifts with seasons. Water near 160° weeks, 70° tides. Stay on boardwalks. Hike to the Grand Prismatic Overlook for the jaw-dropping aerial perspective. Steam can frame colors like art. This is planet-made art you could watch for hours. We're heading to China, Zhangjiajie National Forest Park, whose towering sandstone pillars inspired the Hallelujah Mountains in Avatar. Once under the sea, uplifted land was sculpted for millions of years by wind and rain, leaving super-strong quartz sandstone pillars cloaked in green. Ride the world's tallest outdoor elevator, or cross one of the highest glass bridges for vertigo-inducing views. Zhangjiajie Scenic Area features the officially named Avatar Hallelujah Mountain. When mist rolls in, pillars look like floating islands. It's a real-life fantasy world, every viewpoint a 10 out of 10. In the Nevada desert, a geothermal drilling mishap created a multicolored, ever-growing geyser mound, Fly Geyser. A 1916 well struck hot water. A 1964 geothermal test either wasn't capped properly or the cap failed. Superheated, mineral-rich water has erupted ever since, depositing calcium carbonate into cones and terraces. Like Grand Prismatic, thermophiles paint it red, green, orange, shifting with seasons and flow. On private land, Burning Man Project, formerly fenced off, now accessible by limited guided walks booked well in advance. Exclusive, unforgettable. Cappadocia, Turkey. Surreal fairy chimneys carved from soft volcanic tuff, with entire homes, churches, and even underground cities built within. Volcanoes blanketed the land in ash. Time hardened it to tuff. Wind and water sculpted cones with caps. People carved out villages and sanctuaries. At dawn, hundreds of balloons float silently over valleys, pure magic. Riding one is the #1 experience, a 360° view you'll never forget. Stay in a cave hotel, explore Derinkuyu's subterranean world. Cappadocia is a 5 senses immersion. Fingal's Cave, Scotland, a geometric cathedral carved from perfect hexagonal basalt columns. About 60 million years ago, cooling basalt lava cracked into hexagons. Same process as the Giant's Causeway. Nature's precision looks man-made. Its arched roof and shape create concert hall acoustics. Gaelic name Uam Bin, Cave of Melody, is spot on. The cave seems to sing. Arrive by boat. On calm seas you can land and walk along the tops of broken columns to the entrance. A mind-bending experience. For our 20th surreal spot, welcome to Zhangye Dangxia Geopark in China, the Rainbow Mountains. 24 million years stacked sandstone and minerals like a layer cake. Then tectonics folded and tilted them. Wind and rain exposed the palette. Use designated platforms and boardwalks. Sunrise and sunset saturate colors. Reds deepen, yellows glow. The mountains blush. We're in Australia, Lake Hillier, literally, actually bubblegum pink year-round. A complex cocktail of microorganisms, like Dunaliella salina, thrives in hypersaline water, generating pigments that dye the lake. Remote and hard to access, most see it by plane or helicopter, but the pink-blue-white-green contrast is mind-bending. It's extremely salty, even floatier than the Dead Sea. In Jukkasjärvi, Sweden, They build an entire hotel from ice and snow every winter. Then it melts, and they build it again. Walls, beds, chairs, even glasses at the bar are ice. Artists from around the world create one-of-a-kind suites. You sleep inside ephemeral art. Rooms at about 5 Celsius, 23 degrees, but reindeer skins and high-tech sleeping bags keep you cozy. Wake to hot lingonberry juice. By day, dog sledding, snowmobiles, ice carving, even weddings in an ice chapel. By night, chase the northern lights. Beneath Paris lies a labyrinth holding the bones of over 6 million people, the Paris catacombs. In the 18th century, overflowing cemeteries caused health crises. For decades, at night, carts moved remains into ancient limestone quarries turned ossuaries. Bones weren't dumped, they were arranged into patterns and pillars. A sign at the entrance reads, "Arrêtez, c'est ici l'empire de la mort." Cool, damp air, echoing drips and footsteps. The public section is a fraction of hundreds of miles of tunnels, a humbling, haunting reminder beneath a living city. Off Japan lies Hashima, Gunkanjima, Battleship Island, a former undersea coal mining city now frozen in time. Over 5,000 people once lived on just 16 acres, one of history's densest places. As oil replaced coal, the mine shut in 1974. Residents left in weeks, belongings abandoned. Now a UNESCO site with crumbling concrete battered by typhoons. Visits are via official tours confined to safe pathways. The view is still chilling and unforgettable. In Belize, the Great Blue Hole stares up like a giant eye, over 1,000 feet across and more than 400 feet deep, visible from space. It began as a limestone cave on land during the last ice age. As seas rose, the cave flooded, its roof collapsed, leaving a perfect circular sinkhole. Divers descend past reef sharks along sheer walls. Around 100 feet down, massive ancient stalactites hang, an underwater geological museum. If you're not a technical diver, helicopter or small plane tours reveal the perfect geometry and stunning contrast. In Northern Ireland, around 40,000 interlocking basalt columns form a pathway into the North Atlantic, the Giant's Causeway. A cooling basalt lava lake contracted and cracked into hexagons, like dried mud, but on volcanic scale, top down and bottom up, pillars fit like a puzzle. Legend says Finn McCool built a stone bridge to Scotland to fight a giant, then fled, and the causeway was torn up behind him. Geology meets myth, magic either way. Walk the columns, find the giant's boot and wishing chair, then hike cliff trails for breathtaking coastal views. Park your car at the bottom of what looks like a steep hill in Ladakh, India, put it in neutral, and it rolls uphill. People test with balls, water, everything seems to climb. It feels like a real-life cartoon, but it's a massive optical illusion. The landscape, tree angles and horizon trick your brain. An uphill looks downhill. Your eyes are lying. Found worldwide, but the Himalayas amplify the effect. Barren mountains intensify the deception. Welcome to Musa, an underwater museum of over 500 life-sized sculptures on the Caribbean seafloor. Created to relieve pressure on natural reefs, Jason DeCaires Taylor's pH-neutral concrete figures have grown into living ecosystems of coral, algae, fish, swim through the silent evolution, each face modeled on real locals. It's eerie, beautiful, and ever-changing. Nature is the final artist. See it by glass-bottom boat, snorkel above, or scuba for up-close wonder. Art, conservation, and adventure in one. Number 29, Aogashima, Japan. A volcano inside another bigger volcano, rising from the Philippine Sea. About 150 people live within the giant outer rim. Schools, post office, a tight-knit community under a looming crater wall. Locals harness steam vents to cook food and power public saunas. Getting there, often cancelled ferries or a helicopter, the only reliable way. Stand at the rim and look down. It feels disconnected from the rest of Earth. Wild, beautiful, and humbling. For our final number 30 spot, we're at Lake Baikal, the oldest and deepest lake on Earth, to see frozen methane bubbles. Algae and organics release methane. When the lake freezes, rising bubbles get trapped, layer by layer, forming vertical stacks, like jellyfish or alien coins frozen in time. Ice reaches up to 6 feet thick. Locals build winter roads. The ice groans, cracks, and sings as temperatures shift. An eerie soundtrack. Wind and sun sculpt turquoise hummocks like crystal shards. The landscape constantly changes. Standing on Baikal's glass, peering at frozen towers of methane beneath your feet, is the perfect mind-bending finale to our list. And that is it. 30 places on Earth so surreal they look AI-generated. Lakes of pink water, volcanoes inside volcanoes, mountains from another planet. We've seen it all, from the door to hell to the frozen bubbles of Lake Baikal. I hope this video inspired you to see how wild and beautiful our planet is, maybe even sparked ideas for your own adventure. We spent an insane amount of time making this. Destroy that like button. Seriously, click it right now. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss our next video. Every subscription helps us go further and bring you more insane places. Question of the day. Which of these 30 places blew your mind the most? Catatumbo lightning? Socotra's trees? Living inside Aogashima? Tell me in the comments. I'll be reading and replying. Thank you for watching. Every view, like, and comment means the world to us. We have so much more planned. You have no idea what's coming. Now go watch another one. Click one